Hello everyone. In this video we'll be taking a look at a scenario where civilization starts over. We're on episode 35 now. And in the last video we saw World War II take an end. And in the last video we saw World War II end, and yeah, this is how the world looks like now. China is destroyed, Kazakhstan destroyed, Nordic Union, Germany is destroyed. Yeah, it's not looking too good in the Middle East too. Africa is chaos, and the American Union exists. In this video, we'll be taking a look at a peace treaty of World War II alongside the aftermath of this war. So if you like this series, consider liking and subscribing. I'm on road to 200 subscribers by the end of this year. But anyways, let's get into the video. So we'll be seeing the victors of the Second World War gather in a peaceful area, and that peaceful area will be none other than the capital city of the Banana Nation. So here the peace treaty of World War II will be signed. So let's take a look at that peace treaty. So this is how the world looked like before the Second World War, and as you see here, it is very nice. Not too much big empires. The Americas is divided with big Brazil. Africa, it has looked the same as always. And yeah, and ready for how the world looks like after the peace treaty? Boom! This is the peace treaty of World War II, and yeah, so I guess I'll try my best to tell you the changes. So we start off in Americas. We see, of course, the American Union being created. These guys are pushed back all the way up here again. This country is released. Florida gets like all of this. Yeah, they got screwed over really bad by the American Union. So Florida does the right decision to make an border claim on this area, and we see border dispute happen. Not too much happening up here in North America, except that the American Union is here. Looking down south, we'll see that this Colombian country that used to be here has been removed, or not removed, but pushed up all the way to Central America, as both, or Brazil didn't take any land, but their puppet state and this green Venezuela nation does, and they are pushed back over here. And that's all for Americas. Not that big of change, but it is a big change. Looking over here at Africa, so over here the Brazilian claims over here are gone. This country has been pushed and become very tiny. The Brown Congo nation now is basically Central Africa. They are one of the strongest African nations, right behind South Africa, and I need to fix the capital cities because they should not have free. Tanzania, they take a bit of the country over here. They take, yeah. So you can see the changes probably. So I hope you can see them at least, because I can see them very. Because Ethiopia, it looks like this now. These guys, they actually don't lose any land. They get this piece of land over here that was owned by a pink team. Egypt takes all of the coastal area here and leaves Sudan with this inland. South Sudan, they take so they get ocean or sea access here, and they take this part, and oh my god. Anyways, moving on from Africa, looking up in North Africa, we see not much changed. Morocco doesn't get fully annexed, but they lose a big piece of land to Tunisia, because why not? Looking over at the Middle East here, we see that a pink nation, they have lost a lot of land. And like, yeah, they have lost a lot of land. These two countries have been spat out. This country actually was a real country in like episode 6, I think. That's where I got its color from, at least. Turkey looks like this now, still alive. Cyprus is independent. Caspia has a lot of Caspian coast. Persia is very Persian. India, I'm going to talk about India soon. China, their civil war really destroyed them, so they are very divided, the most divided they have been in history in very long. and the South China has their old beautiful borders now. This is their colonial border with China they had, and they took this from this country, and yeah, Bangladesh took all of that, nothing from India. This country is reduced to that. The Philippines take Taiwan. Nothing happens between Korea and Japan, or this gets released as its own nation because Korea wanted to be very mean to the Japanese. Korea also takes all of, yeah, they take all of this and this from China. And over here we see that the dictator country that used to be here is now gone, and Australia took this from this dictator country. And now looking over at Europe, where the most important changes happen. Turkey, I said, but we see Russia take control of this strait right here. Romania gets a lot of land over here and a new puppet state. We see Greece, they are basically a microstate now, as Rome or Naples takes all of that and this. And Germany, they used to be this, but then Russia took all of this and then made the rest into a puppet state. These three countries are buffer states Russia made from the French. They released this country from the French and made it to a puppet state, or buffer state, I mean, not puppet state. Looking over here, we see Stockholm being created again, this time as an Finnish puppet state. We also see Russia take these islands because they're Russia. This Sami nation is now a Russian puppet state, and these islands are Russian. So a lot of Russian here. Ukraine takes this part from Caucasia, and yeah, France. I love the borders of France now. I think they are very beautiful because if you take a look at how it used to look, yeah, I really like this. Like, yeah, I really like these borders. I'm proud of that. Looking away from France, though, we'll be looking over at Iberia, and Iberia is almost fully united once more under the blue Spanish, and we can now basically call them Iberia now. And that will be the borders of World War II. So now we'll be saying a goodbye to these guys, and here we have it, the new world map. I will fix major cities after this video because you know what, I'm going to, yeah, wait, be right back. And there we go, I have fixed everything that I wanted to fix. I fixed the ideology layer and the capital city layer, so now everything should be in place. But where was I? Alright, so yeah, Europe is a lot Russian. Mongolia is very big Mongolia. China destroyed. But I want to talk about India. So let's take a look at the ideology layer here. So they are very divided. We see monarchy here, democratic India, and the grey is a military dictatorship. But that will change. You know why? Because we see a fascist that just destroyed everything. Because we see a fascist take over the country. The big thing with this is that the Indian Peninsula is a very developed place in the world, very high population and all of that. So the second these guys become fascist, we'll be seeing them turn their backs on their former ally and invade into the South Indians or Sri Lankan nation, and they won't really stand a chance as the north is very more developed than the south. So yeah, we see blitzkrieg being used, or kind of blitzkrieg, as they just move through the country. There isn't really much that can stop this sort of warfare, and it is very effective, as we see basically all of mainland India or South mainland Korea being taken over. South Korea? South India? Before we see the fascists making landing over here, and yeah. So some years after World War II, we see the fascists being elected and invade into another Indian nation. So let's take a look at this peace treaty. And this will be the peace treaty, as Sri Lanka is reduced to basically the south part of Sri Lanka, and the Indian Peninsula is very united once more. But the fascists aren't happy yet. They want to expand a little bit more. So they look over at the OG Indians and yeah, they start an invasion into the original Indians, and it won't go really good for the original Indians, as yeah, there isn't really much they can do because they are very weakened, and these guys, they just became super strong from the war. They were like the USA in World War One. It caused them to become a superpower, but these guys aren't a superpower. They just became very strong and lucky, and they were lucky that their land wasn't as destroyed as everywhere else. But this peace treaty will be very simple, as we see one of the oldest countries in the world being annexed, and the Indian Peninsula is now fully united under a fascist. This will give the world a sign that yeah, democratic ways are gone. This world has just changed, as a bunch of nations are fascist, where fascism is on the rise. That's wrongly here. That's wrongly. As you see here, all these brown countries are fascist, and yeah, it's a lot. Over here, the American Union is fascist. Florida is fascist. Uh, Naples is fascist. Tunisia is fascist. Yeah, and we see dictatorships like Finland, the Mongolians and Caspians exist too. The Congo nation is a dictatorship. This country's dictatorship. Yeah, these guys. The Lime team in South America is a dictatorship. There's a lot of dictatorships in this world right now, and there isn't really much you can do about it, as this world is now turning and corner into a new era, an age of aggression. Now I believe the last era was called Age of Aggression, but let's call this Age of Conflict then. So yeah, but the video isn't done here yet. We'll be seeing much more events. So looking over here at Europe, the Russians are like stabilizing themselves. They can't expand anymore, not at the moment at least, because they are going through some stuff, a bunch of unrest over here in these areas, because why not? And yeah, the Nordic Union is dismantled. That's a big thing. So yeah, there's not really much these guys can do, because the Finnish can destroy them all with ease. The Russians, they want to annex all this and form it into one big puppet state that will look something like this, but that will be too brown, I believe. Yeah, it would be too much brown in Europe, so it is what it is right now. And yeah, it's just a matter of time before the fascists arrive in Russia, and that's when things start to get scary. That's when Russia turns fascist. Oh god. But looking over here at the Greek peninsula, we'll be seeing them all unite under one, and said they unite under one rule and become one big Greek state, as the Naples are back over here, and that is very scary. Turkey, yeah, Turkey, what are they doing? Well, they are trying to fix their nation. This war destroyed them. They could get back this land, but the Caspians and Persians, probably Russians, would get involved if the Turkish tried to expand. So they wouldn't want that. But yeah, Egypt. You know, Egypt, they will be expanding actually. As we see them invade into this country right here. Now, sorry if you are a little bit colorblind, this hurts my eyes as well, but it will be quick. This country surrenders, and in this peace treaty, they will be fully annexed. And yet again, that's another very old nation that just disappeared just like that. But Turkey, they are not done yet on the expansion. They are looking down here and invade into South Egypt, and yeah, that's South Egypt say you can take what you want, so let's draw up a peace treaty. And in this peace treaty we see Egypt, they will be taking all of this land, and now the border looks a lot better in my opinion. It's not as like that, it's more smooth. And yeah, the world has basically shifted. A new world order has basically been. And what has happened over here? Hello? Why? What? Hey guys, it's the world is so screwed over, so but the banana nation turned white on the inside. But anyways, it's the world is very flipped. The Russians basically control everything. Mongolia basically controls the Asian parts, then South China controls their own thing. The Indians actually are growing their influence, and that's very bad. Persians control Middle East, Caspians control basically all of that. The Russians basically control half of Europe at this point. And the American Union is just growing, and again, what? Wait, what? What's happening? Wait, how did that happen? Anyways, I guess. Yeah, as I said, the more American Union, they're still expanding. They could easily take over the continent, and we probably will see them expanding as they are fascist. But that will bring us to the end of this video. If you liked it, consider liking and subscribing. We're on the road to 200 subscribers, as I said at the start of this video. And yeah, comment down below if this war turned out as you thought. But goodbye for now.